Good morning, everyone, and welcome to successcafe.tv. My name's Paul Bursey, and I'm speaking from Whittam in Essex in the UK. And I'm on my own today. Warren's moving house, and basically he's got boxes all around him. So obviously he's left me to do the call, which I'm quite happy to do, and I'm going to get straight into it. And but I want to say I hope you had a great weekend. And the headline for today is the key to productivity. Now, okay, these are just my thoughts and some of the sort of research I've done over the past few days. And productivity is not a natural skill, funny enough. Hard work, graft, sweat equity, they're things we learn. And especially when you have a business, you're I wouldn't say forced into productivity, but look, you better make productivity your friend, otherwise you're not going to make money. It's very, very simple. So it isn't a natural skill. We are lazy by nature, people, and as I say, I'm quite happy watching box sets on Netflix, and I have to shake myself out of that sometimes and get working. So productivity is definitely a learned behavior, and but what you have to have before you get into work is the right mindset, and we talk about this all the time, and it must come first, and then it's closely followed by consistent or continuous daily action. So, and again, that's another thing we talk about all the time, but I think some people forget, and I know we do here at successcafe.tv. So I think everyone would agree with what I'm talking about, and we've just done a call on being proactive, and proactive is a big part of what we're talking about, and that means getting in first and not being forced to take action. So in other words, doing a little bit of planning, a little bit of thinking, not too much, and being proactive and getting stuck in and becoming highly productive. Are you highly productive? I don't know. Only you can answer that. But one of the things I think you'll find is you'll start to get results. So if you're not getting any results, that might give you a clue that you're not highly productive. And I have periods of time when I'm not highly productive, and you pay the price. Whereas if you're highly productive, you enjoy the price. There is a big difference here. So, okay, some people just talk and never actually back it up with any work, with building momentum. And I have to say, I've been in that position quite a few times. You talk about what you're going to do, but you don't actually do it. And you pay the price. Don't expect success and to reach your outcome unless you're prepared to work hard in the time that you put in. So how about you? How's it going for you? Do you need help in talking about productivity? Do you need to discuss it with someone? Well, Warren and myself are always here if you want to do a one-to-one, and I'm sure we can find 15 minutes or stretch 30 minutes in our busy schedules to have a chat with you. And but the two words I use more than anything is effective execution, and that is really what counts. And I think that is the key to productivity: effective execution. Again, it's another couple of words that I use quite a lot, and you'll know you're effective when you get on and do some work. And again, it goes back to results. If you do enough of them, enough quality, then you're going to get some quality results. Now, is there a secret to productivity? Not really. No, I wish there was, because you probably could make money out of it selling it. but there isn't. It's just spending your time around quality people, being in the right environment, listening to what they're saying, learning, tweaking, and putting things into practice. And then the practice itself is to keep doing it over and over again. And then as you find things don't work, then you just remove them from your daily actions and just replace it with something else. So So there are no secrets to productivity, just plain old work, and then it's a bit like playing golf, practice, 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 and you'll evolve. And I think that's very, very important. Now, if you want the results and the outcomes to be of high quality, of positiveness, and depends on what you're doing, to make money, then you've got to learn to be patient and do the right things every day, and you'll get improvement over time. And I think that's key to everything here, and as I say, if you think about things too much, then you don't initiate, you don't get on with it. And you can sit back at the HQ, okay, with all the leaders around the table looking at plans all the time, but sometimes you need to get in the trenches and really get your hands mucky, as I call it. And it's where the trenches are where the meat meets the metal. In other words, you get on and do it, and you've got to be at the sharp end. This is people avoid the sharp end because that's where the magic happens. Okay, if you're in a networking type of business, then the sharp end is actually face to face with people. Now, if you're good on as a digital marketer, then fantastic, that can be good for you. But at some stage, you're going to have to get with that person. All right. And I know we've got challenges over the last 18 months, 20 months. And as I say, but I do think you've got to be one-to-one. Okay, that's my view. I like spending time with people, and I like solving problems. And there are challenges out there, and we need to solve these challenges to make ourselves valuable. So, okay, some people just are getting ready to be ready, and I've done this as well loads of times. Preparation is important, however, never remain at the planning table. Okay, you have to venture out into the big bad world, and I think that's key to everything. So here's just a few thoughts, as it were. Maybe some key habits. The task has to remain in distinct focus. That's obviously very, very important. If you don't keep it in distinct focus, whether it's put it on some post-it notes and stick it in front of you so they'll always remind you to get back on track as quick as you can. All right, that's important. And but let's get into some key habits. So start your day by completing the most unpleasant task you have. And what we call them, they're loops. They're open loops, maybe from the day before. Very, very important that you do that. Or, because there is an order, you may not have any open loops. If you're that efficient, and then you must move on to the main task of the day. The main task of the day is your number one priority, and there is only one priority. Okay. Now, when you've got that done, then you can move on. But the number one priority is the thing that moves the needle forward more than anything else. It's the one probably thing that has the wow factor for you in your business or your sport or whatever it is you're doing. Okay. And if you did nothing else that day, you can actually look back on the day and say, it's been a fantastic day, Now, if you get that one priority done, you can add it to your victory list or cross it off your to-do list or whatever it is, and put it one side for that day. And you can move on now to priority number 2, if there is one. Okay. Now, most people suggest having maybe, 3 to 5 things to do that day. But I don't like a to-do list. I like to tick it off list. So when I've done it, I put it on the list and tick it off as a victory list. Okay. Reason I do that, again, we're going back to psychology. And that is, if you've got 5 things on the list and you do one, psychologically, you're looking at the list saying, oh, I actually had a bad day. When actually, you probably haven't had a bad day. Okay. Another way to do it would be to have 5 cards with what you want to do on them. And obviously, your main priority is going to be on number 1. all right? And then that's different. But you're still going to have these cards in the background that you haven't done. And you're going to think, oh, I've not done too well today. And it really doesn't work that way. So make sure you do your number one priority. Why? Because it uplifts you, it elevates your thinking, inspires you. Okay. The other thing you need to do, and when we spoke about the unpleasant task, is it lightens the load if you do that. Excuse me. All right. It takes the weight off. It takes the load off. And that's why it's so important to get on with that. As we said, you're going to focus on one single task at a time. The reason being, out of 100% of people, only 2% of people can multitask successfully. So don't do it. It doesn't work. All right. It can work up to a little bit, but you want to be the most efficient you can get, and you'll have lower productivity if you multitask and jump from one thing to another. You've got to shut everything off, absolutely everything, to do that priority number one, and that's don't have any distractions. The other thing is you'll procrastinate if you have more than one priority, and you've got to finish that number one priority in that day. Most people flitter about from one thing to another. They're like sort of butterflies, if you want, multitasking butterflies, and it's just a waste of time and energy. If you stick to one thing, you'll complete the task more rapidly than not, and you'll be higher effectively and efficiently. So higher efficiency. The next thing is to set deadlines or timelines for each task. So if you go back to the priority number one, if you set yourself 2 hours to do the task, you do the 2 hours. I would suggest, if you, at the end of the 2 hours, you haven't completed the task, take a break, okay, and then come back and finish it off. The fact that you set a timeline, let's say you start at 9 in the morning and your timeline is to 11 in the morning to get it done. We can't put exact times on things. Although we'll set a timeline or a block of time to get on with it. Excuse me again. You can't guarantee that you're going to do it within that 2 hour time frame. The next thing is you've got to be ruthless as far as distractions. So everything that you think will be a distraction, you've got to eliminate. And I don't mean kill. What I mean is just push it out of the way, turn your phone off, turn everything else off on your excuse me, turn everything else off on your computer. Don't allow anyone any access to you, let's say in that 2 hour period. If you want, when you have a break, if you want to turn everything back on for a few minutes and then turn it back off when you're going to do the next thing, but the other thing is you must take breaks. I talk about this all the time, and you've got to refresh yourself. Now, you may go away for 5-10 minutes and listen to some music. You may read a book. You might just have a cup of tea and, solitude and just think about things, or, whatever it is that you need to do to re-engage for the next thing you've got to do. And don't forget, if you do that task, the first priority, celebrate just for a few seconds. Celebrate and say, well done. I mean, if you think about it logically, most people attack themselves verbally and say, oh, it's been a terrible day. I just haven't got done what I wanted to get done. Even mild things like that. If you do it day after day after day, they're going to have a tremendous effect on your performance. And your performance is all about priority one. Nothing more. Okay, get that done. Hey, we're having a good day, and that's really, really what it is all about. I'm going to give you a tip of the day at this stage, and that is track your habits. All right, whatever they are, good or bad, positive or negative, track your habits. Write them down in a journal. You can write whatever you want in the journal, any thoughts you want. Keep it simple. This isn't meant to make you look bad. It's just so you can become more efficient and eliminate those things that really don't matter too much, And I want to ask you a question. What is your daily driver? What is moving you forward? What is the passion behind what you're doing? What is the reason? You need a reason, to be able to get on and do something. Not just once, because that's easy, but day after day after day, and I think you have to know what your driver is, and it's not playing golf. I just started to play golf, so yeah, I'm used to using the driver now, and but I'm not very good, by the way. So I haven't progressed more than the 9-hole pitch and putt type of thing. But lots of my friends are, been golfing for years, and I decided not to, because I knew that if I did, it would take over my life, and I wouldn't achieve what I wanted to achieve. So right, so just to sort of end up, it's I wrote this down, and the question was asked. I pay attention to someone who's one of the most successful people I know, who earns in excess of 7 figures a month. Yeah, 7 figures a month, right? And anyway, how many hours would you have to work to make $1 million? So I thought about it. I thought about it for a little while, and then this is what I wrote. It depends on the person's narrow focus. It depends on the person's narrow laser focus, the effective execution of what they do, and the quality of each leveraged hour. Okay? Depends on the person's narrow laser focus, how effective they are at execution, and the quality of each leveraged hour. Now, when we talk about leveraged, this is important as well when we talk about productivity, because instead of just you being there and Xing it by 1 or 2 maybe, there's only so far you can take productivity, okay, on your own. So the way to increase your productivity is to leverage through other people, okay? And that's how the big earners do it. They leverage with the help of other people, okay? And then teach and train those people to do the same. So you could go from doing maybe 4 hours a day to 40 hours a day, but only actually working 4 hours a day or 2 hours a day. It depends on how you structure things. So leverage is the tip of the day. Okay, get it. So look, with that, I wish you all the success you're willing to work towards, and I hope this has been useful. It's something you can take away and use in your project or business. And with that, I'm gonna say goodbye. It's probably the shortest one I've done, and but I hope it's been effective for you. Questions? Any questions you got? Stick them on the Facebook Live, or you can stick them on YouTube. They're on YouTube as well, and on podcasts. And I'll come back to you. I always come back to people. And as I say, have a fantastic week. See you on Wednesday. I have no idea whether Warrant's going to be available on Wednesday for healthierlife.tv. But from me and successcafe.tv, I wish you all the best. See you later. Cheers.